Welcome back, everyone, to the Integration Hub, where we break down the real stories shaping logistics, retail, and of course, the technology that's keeping it all moving. And today's timing could not be better because this episode drops as we come straight out of the biggest Thanksgiving shopping weekend on record, or what's planned to be. Now, according to the NRF, 186 million people plan to shop this weekend, and including on Cyber Monday today as well. It's the highest in history, and over 3 million more plan to shop this year than last year. Now, Black Friday last year alone pulled in more than 130 million shoppers, another 74 million online. Even Small Business Saturday saw strong momentum with 67 million shoppers supporting local stores. Now, consumers didn't just show up, they showed up early. And we plan to see those same statistics this year. 58% of shoppers started their buying before November even began. And while everyone loves a good deal, more than half of those shoppers said that promotions were just too good to pass up earlier in the year. Retailers also navigated new realities, including tighter margins, of course, tariffs, fewer SKUs, and the rising expectations for speed, accuracy, and visibility. Now, that brings us to the guest this week. Today, we're going to hear from someone who lives at the center of all of that holiday pressure. Maggie Barnett, COO of ShipHero and CEO of LVK Logistics. Now, Maggie is one of my favorite people. I've interviewed her even at my past role at FreightWave. She's really respected, especially in modern fulfillment age. She's a true operator who has seen the evolution of e-commerce from its D2C boom years all the way to today's everything is omnichannel reality. Now, in this conversation, Maggie takes us inside ShipHero's journey from a D2C first WMS to a platform now built to support large scale retail and wholesalers. Now, what started as just a simple Shopify plug and play fulfillment has now transformed into a business supporting major retailers, tighter routing requirements, and six-figure chargeback risk. The stakes have changed, and Maggie is sure to break that down and what that evolution looks like from inside ShipHero. She also shares how ShipHero leaned on partners like Orderful to modernize its tech stack, accelerate onboarding, and eliminate friction for customers. She also gets into a wonderful customer collaboration we had with our creation of our UCC label maker, something that ShipHero really needed from their tech providers. But one of my favorite parts of this episode is actually when Maggie shifts into, of course, peak season. She talks about ShipHero and how they're seeing what they're seeing on warehouse floors right now. And as Maggie puts it, this is their Super Bowl. And she walks us through exactly how ShipHero gears up to win it. Now, if you're a retailer, a 3PL, or a brand just trying to keep up in this new world, where of course e-commerce is retail at this point, this episode is packed with insight on where the industry is headed and how you can stay competitive in it as well. So let's jump into this nice Black Friday weekend edition of the Integration Hub with ShipHero COO and LVK CEO Maggie Barnett. And with us today, like I said, one of my favorite people in the logistics space. If you are a fan of FreightWaves, you've probably seen me talk to her before about women in the logistics space because she is one of the most incredible ladies that we've seen here in the retail space as well. And I'm excited to introduce you to Maggie Barnett of ShipHero. Maggie, thank you for joining us. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself and really the history of ShipHero as well.
Absolutely, Grace. Thank you so much for having me. I always have so much fun with you. So excited to be here. My name is Maggie Barnett. I've been with ShipHero for 7 years. ShipHero has been around for almost 12 years now. Best in class WMS. We have customers like Universal Music Group, Giant Tiger, Celery Fulfillment. We have a lot of different types of customers, 3PLs and brands. But really, we started in D2C. And I think that's what'll be fun to talk to you about where we're going and why we've leveraged Orderful as a partner moving forward.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive into the tech of it all and happy to have someone like yourself who's built a number of logistics organizations in this space too. And yeah, let's dive into the EDI of it, right? So In particular, I'd love to hear about the pain points that you were discovering that led you to this conversation with Orderful and how you could improve your EDI stack as well.
Absolutely. And it was a really cool journey, Grace, because we started off as D2C darlings. Really, it was like that was our bread and butter when Aaron started the company. He had a brand, BJJ, which is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And he couldn't believe that on the Shopify App Store, there was like nothing that would help him pick his orders that was like a huge $100,000 installation or pen and paper. And he's like, there has to be something better. And, he started building out ShipHero for himself in his own warehouse just north of New York City. And what we've seen since then is we've had all these customers join because of D2C COVID, D2C, and just kept growing, growing, growing. And now, kind of post COVID, it's everyone's going to omnichannel. Everyone who started D2C has to either have some retail presence, whether it's the Targets and the Walmarts or a fair.com, they need additional channels. So our customer has really changed over the last 24 months to open up those capabilities.
I just had a conversation the other day with someone about that exact situation. I think we do see a lot of customers here at Orderful come to us because of that, right? Because these large legacy players, if you look at companies like Walmart, Target, etc., if you look at their 10Ks, if you watch their quarterlies, right? They always are talking about. I want to say almost less of what's on the shelf and more of what's on their virtual shelf, right? Competing with Amazon and because of that, more and more of these retailers, these large entities are reaching out to companies to fulfill that virtual shelf. And I think we're starting to see more brands getting an opportunity to sell at companies that they never saw in the past. So I love that you're seeing that on your end because we're definitely seeing it here from what our customer needs are. And so I'm happy that you experienced that. Now, I'm interested in the onboarding of it all because if I remember correctly, I think that was a pain point that helped you discover the EDI aspect of moving to that omni-channel experience.
Absolutely. It was so easy in the past with Shopify, ShipHero. It's one click. Attach their store and orders start coming in. You can attach the Amazon orders, just start coming in. It was never a thing. So, we'd fill an order, push up a tracking number. It was very simple when it's small parcel direct to consumer. Well, it wasn't simple. We built it so it was simple on the ShipHero side. And then all of a sudden, you get these archaic, you get an archaic routing guide. Then you get this archaic system going back and forth with these files. We think API, not EDI. It's like kind of blows our minds, especially since, again, we didn't have anyone on the team from the EDI, B2B, old school space. So onboarding was extremely difficult because also, let's just say we start with the Targets and the Walmarts of the world. There's still work to be done there. There's exceptions. There's all of the scoping work. There was not just like a plug and play solution. And all of a sudden now we have a head of EDI on our team. Like that was like not when I joined 7 years ago, that was like, I'd be like, what? Why do we need that?
Exactly.
And now Jay Saunders on our team, has 3 or 4 engineers underneath him. You know, it's just scaling. So the onboarding, we saw how much friction there was. One, it was learning on our part, learning on the brands or 3PL's parts as well.
Yeah, thank you for touching on that because it's interesting how many people discover the EDI problem after they look towards implementing either a new service or a new solution because that's why we call it like the piping of logistics over here. It's the same thing like with your house, right? You don't really think about your piping until it explodes, or maybe you want to add a new room or a new story, and you're like, well, none of this has been prepared for that, and that leads to extra costs and other challenges. So I always tell people the reason I love like maybe the EDI space that someone could find not as sexy, right? Is because it's the problem you're not thinking about, and then when it comes, you have no idea what you're doing. And often, I mean, I've been in the exact same spot, like landed a customer who wanted to send a lot of orders over to us at a logistics company, and they said, Let's connect our EDI platforms." And I said, "What is EDI?" I remember going to an intern and being like, "Hey, what's EDI?" And he's like, "I mean, I can tell you, but I can't build it." And so, it is a challenge that often is like abruptly at your doorstep. And who can you move to quickly? And how can you, and this is the key, right? Is like, not only are we focused on EDI here, but we're focused on the nuance of the onboarding experience that often leads to what people see as like 90 days or even 6 months at sometimes as well. Tell me about that, because I think that's once you find out that, okay, this is a problem, you really start to discover like the iceberg of the problem, right? So how did, as you started reaching out to companies, what were those discussions like?
It, the 6 months to a year, the email threads that
Yeah.
could fill my New York City apartment, if I printed out the pages. And I think one thing it comes down to is there's so many people involved. There's
Yeah.
different stakeholders that are needed at different times, and then like very little accountability because it's hard to have the person who's like, I'm going to make sure this goes all the way through and understands all the parties and what the needs are. And then there's these massive chargebacks. Like like it's so different from small parcel. Reshipping an $8 package is a lot different than $100,000 chargeback, especially when you're only, on our logistics side, fulfillment side, when, you charge them $25 to pack it out. But, it's just, the stakes are so high as well. And so I think that's where the challenges have been. One, it's an archaic system, and that's where it's great to have providers like you guys come in to make it like update so we can understand it. Two, there's a lot of stakeholders. Three, it's high stakes. And when you make a mistake or the call's not coming back right and you don't find out, like all that testing too, and changes in routing guides and requirements.
It really is crazy. That's how we really eliminated kind of the black box of EDI so that you can see and know what's happening and have a better idea of what's coming around the corner, right? In those regards. And the chargeback, yeah, it's crazy. And it's interesting too, because you and I both know the margins of this industry are already being attacked on a daily basis. I mean, you discuss tariffs all the time too. So think of these sellers who are like barely trying to stay afloat, and then to get a chargeback just to do business, just trying to do business with someone. I can't imagine something that more detrimental than that, right? For companies as well. But I think another part of it too is like your ability to serve your customers at scale. And I know you were looking to implement more of this wholesale experience. How did EDI end up helping with that?
It's it's so cool, Grace, because like getting to work at a place like ShipHero, I get to talk to a lot of people like you and people in the space, and we all like geek out on the space, right?
Yeah,
Like so,
totally.
so it's really fun. And I think what's cool about the wholesale aspect of this is one, we did a ton of learning, and you can pick wholesale, and we were so focused on how are you going to pick and decrement this inventory. And, at the same time, we're like, wait, there's also just the data exchange. Like there's two different layers that we have to be concerned about that, it's interesting as operators to get to attack both of those problems, but it's a lot to digest and execute on. So we've been rolling out wholesale, just the picking modules, and it's gone fantastic at our LVK warehouses. We've started to, add different retailers, and we use that part of the business to really, to try things out, to work through the bugs because we're there in real time. And what we're doing on the ShipHero side is just continuing to roll out wholesale because we know this is where the future is with omnichannel. Like it is now table stakes for any retailer. Like, because right now it's not e-commerce, it's just retail, right? Like, yeah.
I love that comment, right? E-commerce is retail at this point, and it's, I'm sure, hedging its way to taking over that true in-store space. And so to think ahead, right, to how we can help is big. And I want to say there's a piece of partnership that goes into this too, because I know be our UCC label maker that we've created is off of something that you guys I know requested, right? And that's what's great about where Orderful is right now is that we can meet customers like yourself and innovate not only for you but also for everyone else in our space too. And so I was happy to see that you led that discussion and that ShipHero was a part of that because I saw that. I knew that Maggie was behind the scenes and Aaron as well, who's absolutely incredible. And it's like, from a freight tech geek standpoint, that's the kind of stories that really excite me because that's how I think we become more powerful and showcased. Not only can we help ShipHero, but we can help elevate everyone right in the space.
Yeah, Grace, it's so true. I think having that malleability in the sense of like two tech companies coming together, it's so easy to just say, no, this is our box. You have to purchase the whole box. And I think your team was so great about saying like, hey, you don't need to have this whole thing. You really want this. This is important to you. And Jonathan on your team and the other Orderful team members were like, okay, if you just need that, like, I get that. Like, let's work through this. And this is like, the spirit of really listening to the customer and iterating quickly on what it needs to be productized. I thought that was really cool because that's what makes things happen. That's what makes great partners. And just that discovery. Like I love that open-mindedness and to like, all the boats rise type of mentality.
Yeah, and for everyone watching too, we'll put the link to our label maker down here as well on this little space for you guys, so you can go check that out too. Because I know it's been such a helpful experience for our customers and others out there too. Moving forward, I mean, I'd love to hear from you, knowing that you have this EDI situation handled, that you've got a good partner. What's the future look like for ShipHero? What's that allow you as a leader to do in this space moving forward to stay not only innovative, but make sure deliveries are happening on time for your customers?
Yeah, what's great about Ship Here, we're constantly innovating. This is Aaron. The warehouse is his lab. We have AI picking rolling out. We have pick to light, direct pack. There's some great videos we're going to be releasing about keeping our customers on the forefront. If they're a 3PL or they're a brand, we want to give them every edge available, especially with things like tariff and just the macro, economy. We want to say, hey, you can save 2 pennies here. We can help you with rate shop, save 50 cents here. We're constantly trying to say, like, how can we improve them to improve their P&L? Period. Like that's what we're constantly trying to shave seconds off of that. So that's what we're really excited about is to continue to roll out these products, offer more, just be able to give more offerings like EDI so that they can keep offering that to their customers, right? Give them some optionality, give them that cheesecake menu of all things. So if someone needs it, they will be able to buy it from them because it's tough running a 3PL. You want every edge you can have. You want to be able to offer the features that people need.
Yeah, and I think that's the 3PL experience is changing. I mean, it's been so fun to watch over the last, I mean, honestly, decade, right? I think it came from this like more of a middleman experience, just like as a customer, I don't know how to ship this, help me, to I think a customer is becoming a little bit more intuitive about just like the shipment process, and as logistics providers, you're acting almost acting as like a strategist, right? Like how can we continue to improve? And that means that you have to stay innovative as well. So if anyone out there in the 3PL space is looking for a company to look at in regards to who's leading the future of what a true logistics provider is doing, I think it's you, it's Aaron. We'll put some of Aaron's Twitter handles, LinkedIn handles, and Maggie's as well here for you all, because you guys are just, I think, incredible leaders to just watch and listen to in this space as well. And on that note, you recently did a panel talking about peak season. I think this is perfect timing for this coming out. We're entering the last quarter. Things are getting hot, hot, hot. Companies, hey, as someone who loves to shop for Christmas and loves to shop at the very last minute, this is like my time to shine, right? So I'd love to hear from your perspective. What's peak season looking like? What are you hearing from customers? What kind of trends should we expect to be around the corner? And how does all that work into the Ship Hero strategy?
I'm so excited. This is our Super Bowl, right,
Yeah.
Grace? Like as
Yes.
like as both of us are shoppers, both of us are in the industry. It's so exciting to see what will happen. And what we are ready for is we are ready for volume because there's been pent-up demand. I think people have been waiting to start to open up their wallets. We didn't see a huge boost with consumer spending for like the back to the school holidays. We do know that our brands are going to be discounting aggressively early. So I think they're trying to get that wallet early. We're seeing it even earlier than last year, that people are going to want to buy early. They're going to, because brands are going to want to sell stuff early. They don't want to have leftover inventory on the shelves. The other thing we're seeing is less optionality when it comes to SKUs. With tariffs and with purchasing power of our brands, like before you could have 30 shades of lipstick, they're going back down to cores, like 15, 10, or maybe even they're 5, going down to 2, because it's just not worth the risk to have that leftover inventory now when margins have been compressed. So if that's where the other things we're seeing is there's going to be less optionality, but there's going to be a lot of good deals out there. And then, I think the idea that there's going to not always be free shipping, and to be okay with that, and to know, like, if you're buying something that's not off of Amazon, buy direct, because that really helps those brands. Like, I always try to buy direct. It's better for brands. And, if I have to pay for shipping, that's just the new way of the world. Or I'll put some more in my cart. So I'll probably, too, and I think this will be a trend, I'll buy from less providers, but I'll buy more. So I think that's going to kind of be, it's better for them. It's probably better for me. It's better for the environment. I think that'll be the third trend. But otherwise, we're ready. You should see the excitement walking through our warehouses. And yeah, it's a feeling that only that fourth quarter feeling.
Right, and I've noticed that too. I'm happy you touched on the shipping payment side. I think we went through this like whole free shipping situation. We realized, I don't want to say the mistakes from that, but the repercussions from that in particular. And you're right. Even as a consumer, I think I now value paying for that in a way, if that makes sense. I understand what I'm paying for a little bit more, and but with that as a brand, then you're also saying I need to deliver, right? If my customer is going to be paying for shipping, then it needs to get there. I need to accurately be showing my inventory. I don't want to have to come back and say that that's not going to be there. I can't fulfill this. And that makes all of this technology and all of the piping, right? All of this makes sense as well. Now, to wrap this up, Maggie, if people are looking to learn more about ShipHero, interested in your services as well, what's the best way for them to reach out to you and learn more about the company?
Thank you so much for this, Grace. I've had so much fun. You can always email me, Maggie at ShipHero.com, or sales at ShipHero.com to learn more. I love talking to people in the industry, so always happy to take a call. And you can follow me on LinkedIn, follow Aaron on LinkedIn. He is a beast when it comes to content, and he's got some hot takes. So I always love following him. And yeah, that's where you can find us.
Yeah, he is a hot take type of guy. Stay tuned, audience. We'll get Aaron on here too in the future. Well, that'll be our part 2 ShipHero story, and we'll get that coming around the corner for you guys as well. Thank you so much, Maggie. It's been great catching up with you.
Grace, it's been awesome. Have a great Q4.
Thank you. That was an awesome conversation with Maggie, and that actually wraps up today's episode of the Integration Hub as well. Big thanks to Maggie for bringing such clarity, energy, and honesty to the conversation too. Now, as we move deeper into peak season, of course, holiday season, and into the most competitive retail landscape yet, her insights are a reminder that great operations are not built on luck. They're built on the right partnerships, adaptable technology, and teams who are willing to evolve with it. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to this. Make sure you share it with your network of friends as well. And check out the resources that we've linked below for you too. And as always, until next time, be sure to stay connected.
Still relying on legacy EDI? Manual work, costly van providers, and slow onboarding are holding you back. Orderful changes everything. Onboard trading partners 10 times faster, automate every transaction, solve production issues in seconds, and stay compliant across all your trading partners. Connect once, trade with the world. Go live in under 9 days with pre-built connections and real-time validation. With built-in support for leading ERPs and systems of record, Orderful fits seamlessly into your existing tech stack. Orderful is #1 in time to value for EDI. Orderful supports all core EDI documents across your supply chain, from order to cash, procure to pay, and logistics to warehousing, and with no hidden fees, ever. Whether you're upgrading your ERP, clearing a trading partner backlog, or done with the cost and complexity of legacy EDI, Orderful helps you move faster with zero surprises and complete control. The EDI infrastructure of the future, available today. Built for change, ready for growth.